Hey, what's happening after the close with the stock of DraftKings? The company's been having a tough year thanks to a series of adverse NFL outcomes. Some rising competition from the predictions market. They get a little muddier when they reported tonight. Now, DraftKings delivered a pretty sizable revenue miss, a larger than expected loss for the third quarter. But at the same time, management also slashed full-year forecasts for both revenue and earnings for interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It looks rough. But I got to get to the bottom of this because I've been recommending this stock because I think that this is the best company in gambling. So let's dig deep with Jason Robins. He's the co-founder and chairman and CEO of DraftKings. Mr. Robins, welcome back to Mad Money.
Hey, thanks. Great to see you, Jim.
So, Jason, we got a mixed picture because, first of all, congratulations. I think this ESPN tie-up is going to be very big. But second, I'm trying to figure out how you're going to reignite growth because the number of new people onto the site, not that great, and the amount of money they're spending is a little lower than I thought. So what reignites the story here?
Well, the spend is really a function of the sport outcomes. We actually saw great growth in handle. We mentioned handle really accelerated above previous trends. So last quarter, we had noted that we had about 10% handle growth in the major sports. This year was 13% to date in NFL, and NBA is almost 20%, and we've had 17% handle growth to date in October. So definitely getting good volume. There's been some customer-friendly outcomes. It was only 7 NFL games that caused. I mean, to put in perspective, we would have held 18% in NFL if it weren't for 7 games. It's a very small number given where we're at in the season. So that can happen sometimes. Obviously, frustrating when it does. Last quarter, it was the opposite. Last quarter, I think you see what happens when outcomes go our way. We had a positive outcomes quarter, and we generated over $300 million in positive adjusted EBITDA. So, feels like over time these things even out, and always good thing when customers have winning experiences, especially early in the season, I think, but obviously impacted our results.
So what are you thinking about with Disney? Because to me, that's a visibility that someone needs. And what will it mean for the day-to-day of your company?
Well, I've been a huge ESPN fan for pretty much my whole life. ESPN is iconic, and we've had many, various deals all the way back from the fantasy days with them, so I have long-standing relationships there. I've known Jimmy Pitaro quite some time and have a great relationship. He's a great guy, so really looking forward to working with them. I think their brand, their portfolio of sports content, really unmatched, and I think being able to go and have that really be, the partner that's pushing DraftKings, and then also add in, we have the NBC Universal agreements, we have agreements with Amazon. I mean, we really have just unparalleled, I think, presence across the sports landscape, and particularly in NBA. NBA has been a sport that we have, relative to NFL, had lower share in. Part of it was, for years, our chief competitor had the Turner deal, and we had nothing. And now to go from that to having the 2 biggest partners in NBA between NBC, Universal, and ESPN is pretty exciting, and we think it'll really help move the needle for us on the NBA share side.
Jason, I'm confused about the way your industry works. And maybe it's not fair to say your industry, but there are companies that are in predictions now. But they are doing exactly what you're doing, I think, in a lot of ways. Not the same way, because it's not accounted the same way. But the fact is they don't pay taxes. The fact is they don't have to worry about state-to-state regulation. The fact is it just seems like an incredibly unfair way, and that it's a backdoor that should be closed. But who the heck's going to close it? Because the companies seem very close to the administration.
Well, I think the reality is that at least for the near term, it looks like the momentum is here. They're here to stay. And so, I think with that in mind, we need to participate, and we should have the tools to win. I actually view it as an opportunity. No doubt the offering is much, thinner and less robust than what we can do with full online sportsbook. But it's still something that I think for states like California and Texas, where there aren't traditional OSB products, it's something I think that can play very well and will generate real interest. And I think at the same time, in states that we currently operate OSB, we're going to continue to focus there. We don't see a need to play in this space. So I actually think it works out quite well, where the financial opportunity is also in the same places that we believe there's more clear regulatory landscape.
Well, do you think that Kalshi's taking share from you? Because people might just want to make a bet on a game in the end, and you can do it.
No, I mean, listen, I don't know. I understand this is new. I feel like, though, simply going and spending 5 minutes looking at the products, you'll see what I mean. It's night and day. The amount of markets, the even the pricing isn't something that I would view as competitive with what we do. You have to look no further than the UK or other Western European markets where there's exchange-based betting and there's also traditional sports betting. And the exchange products are typically, low to mid-single-digit percentages of share of the total industry. So, I think that alone kind of tells you that in places where there is both a full-fledged sportsbook offering and a predictions market offering, you're going to see very little volume migrating from the sportsbooks. If anything, I actually think a lot of it is incremental, because what happens is the sharps that get limited on the traditional books, they can go to the predictions market. So a lot of what it's become in the UK is just people, sharps kind of battling each other and various things. So, there's definitely a market for that, but I don't think in a place with sports betting it's as big. Now, that said, these products will evolve over time, and that could change. But in today's world, we see absolutely no discernible evidence that this is having any effect. Our numbers look great.
Okay, so if that's the case, can you just give us a little more color about the forecast? Because the forecast to me sent the stock down initially 10%. I don't think it's going to be down that much, but it was hard. I didn't think that just moving into Missouri would necessarily cause this much pain. And I think the next quarter typically is better than this quarter. So I try to get my arms around the forecast.
I mean, it's just the outcomes impact. So, unfortunately, we've had around $400 million of outcome headwinds so far this year. Most of it was this quarter. Last quarter was positive. Obviously, it could swing the other way in Q4, and you could see us go out and beat these numbers, but we're not going to predict that. Even though things regress to the mean over time, we're not going to sit here and predict positive outcomes for the rest of the quarter. So it's really just that. Other metrics look great. Our activity has been strong. Our handle has been strong. Customer acquisition's been good. We have the Missouri launch, as you noted, coming up, which should give us another boost to active customers. The only real negative on the quarter is that there was a Tyson fight last year that got a lot of interest that we're lapping, but otherwise the sports schedule looks great. So really, I think Q4 is lining up very well. Unfortunately, we had some outcome headwinds, though, and that's going to happen. But I think looking forward, we don't expect it to be any worse off from a pure volume or customer activity standpoint.
See, I was prepared to think that, look, you got a big Friday game after Thanksgiving. Now, not just because I'm from Philadelphia, it's because the Bears are good. You've got 2 Christmas Day games. These are huge opportunities for you to open up accounts, I believe. Are you ready?
Oh, we're ready. I mean, we have so many great things lined up. I'm really excited about those games. I'm excited about the NBA season, which is off to a hot start. Remember last year, everyone was concerned because NBA was off to a bit of a slow start. This year is the exact opposite. Way up, looking great. So I'm really excited about the trajectory right now, and I actually think prediction is going to be a huge plus for us. Obviously, there's a lot still that I think investors don't understand, but as we launch our product in the coming months and show what we can do, I think this is going to quickly turn from a bear negative to, wow, this is a big opportunity, and these guys are going to dominate. So I'm pretty bullish on it and excited about it, and hopefully we can go out and prove everybody wrong.
All right, so it just doesn't sound like the betting scandal is impacting your basketball betting at all. I mean, to me, I thought there might be some people who said, wow, I don't want to touch that league. I don't want to be involved. But that doesn't sound like it's happening.
Well, I think that most people actually understand that part of having legal regulated sports betting is that you quickly catch these things so they aren't a part of the game. I mean, look no further than this particular situation. You had, even though it was conflated a little bit, you had 2 very separate incidents. One of them was, this accusation against Terry Rozier, which was caught very quickly, caught day of the game. And then you have this other side where there was an underground poker game that was operating for 3 years, being run by all these crime families in New York. Millions and millions of dollars were stolen from people. That's what happens when you have an unregulated market. It pushes it towards organized crime, and it goes on for years and years without people getting caught because you don't have the standard reporting protocols that books like us and other regulated and legal sports books have. So I think that's really the big win that you get, or one of the big wins, tax revenue, other things that you get from bringing this into the legal market. And I think a lot of people understand that, and they view what's going on as actually a great thing that gives them more confidence over the long term that players are going to get caught doing this and they're not going to do it anymore. And we're going to at least know if it's happening.
How quickly were you able to, did people catch what was going on? Because it seems like it was either AI or there was some, some sort of radar system caught some of these bets.
Well, that's what happens. So if you're betting in the illegal market, whether it be offshore with a bookie, they're not going to turn and report it to the authorities or to the leagues the way we are when they see suspicious activity. So, I'm sure those books all shut down the bets and do all the same things we do. They just don't report it. There are other methods out there for detecting it, so there is some monitoring, but it's much harder in the illegal market, and that's why you have these situations like this poker game where these scams go on for years and years that people don't know. And, Adam's been a great advocate for this, and he's been one of the people that has said, listen, this is why we need to legalize betting. This is why we need to bring it out into the light, and he's absolutely right. And I think this is a proof point of it. Obviously, nobody likes to see this. This isn't something that anybody wants in the game. Without the integrity of the game, we have nothing. And we understand our product relies on people knowing that these games are high integrity. But we also understand that in anything, whether it's insider trading and stocks, whatever it is, people are going to try to cheat. And the best way to catch the cheaters is to have a legal regulated system where there is proper reporting and obligations to work collaboratively with the leagues and others in order to root this kind of stuff out where it does happen. And I'll also note this is a tiny, tiny piece. I mean, this is one instance, amongst I don't even know how many bets we've taken in NBA over the last several years. So, this is a very kind of fringy thing. I don't think this is something that in any way implies that there's a larger issue. It's just sometimes things are going to happen from time to time, and you have people, and the faster you catch it and shut it down, the more deterrence that you have going forward.
We've seen it for years in the stock market. It doesn't shock me that there isn't something in any kind of market. We just hope that it's caught early like yours was, and then we can go on and have a level playing field. Well, I want to thank Jason Robins, DraftKings co-founder, chairman, CEO. Straightforward, explaining what happened. I believe that you're the only company I want to bet in the industry. Let's hope that the Black Friday game is a game that brings in a lot of action. How about that? Thank you very much. Mad Money's and that's the Eagles play. Mad Money's back in.
Coming up, can artificial intelligence push financial software names to new heights? Cramer's one-on-one with the CEO of Intuit. Next. Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.